Hello and welcome to Living the Reno and our shed build series. We're going to be building a 12 by 8 shed. We're going to be putting on a concrete pad, and that's what we're going to be starting with today. Here is where we will be building the shed in this corner of the yard. I started by marking out the location for the slab. The shed will be 12 feet by 8 feet, and there will be 3 feet from the fence on either side. The space between the fence will make building the shed easier, but will also give us more room for additional storage. I measured the slab to size and added about 6 inches more to make room for the concrete forming. This edge will be the highest point of the slab. It will be just above the grade here, and at the back will rise up as the ground slopes back towards the fence. With the main area cleared, I also removed the rest of the grass to the fence, as we will be putting down some gravel and some flagstones so we don't have to mow behind the shed, and it will keep it from getting muddy. Now it was time to build the concrete forms. I started with the front board and made it parallel to the back fence. I also set the front board first to ensure it would be just above the grade here at the highest point. From there, the rest of the elevation will be set. I drove a bunch of stakes to secure the form in place. I also put down a string line in the middle of the board to ensure that it was completely straight. You can now really start to see how much slope the ground has here. We are using a 2x10 size lumber at the back. Once the basic frame shape was made, we made sure that it was square before starting to add the rest of the stakes. Looking back, instead of adding all of these pieces to the 2x4s on the sides here, we should have just got 2 more 2x10s and then ripped them down to the grade. It would have saved us a little bit of time. Now I started to go around and pack all of the dirt around the outside of the forms, and I removed any of the visible high spots. I used a 2x4 across the form to check the height for the slab. The thinnest part of the slab will be 4 inches thick and gradually get thicker from there. Plus we needed room for at least 4 inches of gravel as well. Once the levels were good, I used a hand tamper to compact all of the dirt. Now it was time for the gravel. We used 3/4 inch crushed stone. This goes by many names like sewer or washed stone, but it's basically 3/4 of an inch size stone with all the sand removed. This does not need much compaction, which is nice, but it also aids with drainage. We got 1.5 cubic yards of gravel here. I built this jig to ensure the gravel was not too high and to give us at least 4 inches of space for the concrete. The 2x4 below the form is 3.5 inches, so I was aiming for a ½ inch below that. With the gravel level now set, I measured for how much concrete I had to order. I am not sure if this step was needed or not, but I added a bunch of supports on the taller sides to ensure the forms would not bow out with all the weight of the concrete. And one more final check to make sure everything was still nice and level. We then added 2 rows of 10mm rebar to the thickest part of the slab for extra strength. I broke up some old concrete pavers to make blocks for them to sit on. We are also going to be using these concrete mesh sheets across the slab. We built a little ramp here for the wheelbarrow and then wet down the gravel and the forms before adding the concrete. Now it was time to mix up some concrete. We got 2 fill skids of bagged concrete, which equaled 112 bags. We ended up using 96 bags in total, and then had some leftovers for another project. We rented an electric mixer, and we were able to mix 2 full bags at a time. It took a few trial runs to get the exact water to bag ratio, but after that, it went pretty quickly. Once we got enough concrete in, we started to screed it using a very straight 2x4. I also used a reciprocating saw without the blade to vibrate the forms. This helps release air bubbles from the mixing process. I will note how much the concrete levels drop when doing this. I learned it is better to do this just before using the screed board, so you don't have to go back and then add more and then re-screed as much. We lifted up these mesh sheets as we went to try and keep them about halfway in the slab. We also rented a large bowl float to help with smoothing out the slab. We are going with a broom finish on the slab. After the concrete started to set up and was firm enough, we used this concrete broom to add the texture. This was our first time working with concrete, so we made a few mistakes with the finishing work. Some areas dried before we could do any of the edging, and the last part we applied the broom finish too early and it left a little bit more texture than we would have liked. But we are really pleased with the results given everything. We let the slab cure until the next weekend. We also watered it a few times in the first few days. Now it was time to remove the forms and see how the concrete looked. There were still a few small air bubbles, but overall it looked really good. After all the forms were removed and the ground was leveled out, we added some finer gravel and then some flagstone along the fence storage area. Well, there you go. The slab is all complete and ready for walls to be built right on it. So that will be episode 2, so stay tuned for that one.